You may have seen my recent first Calamity Yo-Yo only episode, and I decided I wanted to make a sister series in which I would explain the lore that happened in the episode. So without any further ado, let's get into Calamity Lore, Episode 1, The Jungle, Planetoids, and the Great Eye. This episode doesn't have much to touch on in the form of content added by Calamity, as we honestly didn't really explore the mod exclusive content much, but there are things that Calamity changes, such as the jungle is stated as being
the hub of this planet. All is centered around it, and none know not of it.
By Dradon. Dradon also does a little complaining.
It brings me no small amount of unease to see the uncomfortable raw forms of the living beings who pass through on their journeys above.
But we know that people once inhabited the jungle, as seen by this quote from Yarim.
In the past, entire villages would spring up around these grand hives to peacefully harvest their share of honey while protecting them from danger.
From the Queen Bee lore item. Perhaps this implies the jungle was once more peaceful than it is now, or perhaps Dradon isn't even talking about the things that live in the jungle, but things he sees pass through. But Dradon seems perfectly happy with staying there.
Fortunately, these labs provide everything I need for my research and more. There's little need to visit the surface, save for Yarim's summons.
And
Few travel down here. As such, I have taken to using this isolation to develop advanced nanotechnology for use in controlling the minds of biologicals.
we could get into the plague more, but we'll save that for when we actually encounter it. For now, let's move from the great depths of the jungle to the great heights of.
High above even the sky islands upheaved long ago lies a fascinating geological phenomenon. Though, unlike the islands, their airborne nature appears to have formed more naturally.
This implies, first, that sky islands were created by someone or something, and second, that planetoids were not, likely being high enough in the atmosphere to experience no or far less gravity. This begs the question, how does the Terrarian breathe up there?
Perhaps these planetoids, as many refer to them as, formed via meteor strikes, tossing matter high into the atmosphere. This would simultaneously explain many geological oddities I have found on the world's surface.
There are 6 types of planetoids. The main planetoid, life crystal planetoids, or planetoids, jungle planetoids, beehive planetoids, and mushroom planetoids. Some of these, namely the mushroom planetoids, baffle me, as we only find mushroom biomes underground, which implies at least one of a few things. 1. Mushroom biomes used to be on the surface. 2. The meteorites took Earth from at least Y0, and most confoundingly,
I speculate that they formed long ago when the world was in its infancy.
this implies that biomes have been here since the very beginning of Terraria. It's no wonder Dradon has no interest in nearby planets. This one has had some amount of life since the very beginning. But there seems to be not much more regarding the planetoids. So let's move on to the next subject, the end of the first episode. The eye is actually not very important. Kind of ironic that the peak of the video is so unimportant to the lore. Really, the only thing we get is,
In ages past, heroes made names for themselves facing such monsters. Now they run rampant, spawning from vile influences left unchecked. They blend well with the horrific injustice of their forebearers. Slaying one merely paves the way for a dozen more. Surely this does not concern you either.
the vile influences mentioned are likely referring to the Crimson/Corruption, as that is what the Crimson and Corruption are.
Having slain my first gods, I turned a blind eye as corrupt essence gushed from their rent forms and burrowed into the bowels of Terraria.
They are the essence of slaying gods. The Perforator Hive even does something similar to what the Eye might have done.
These creatures were unique, for they wielded the slain god's power as purely as possible, veins flowing with spilt ichor.
Mayhaps the Eye is less pure than the Perforators, but they probably have a correlation to the evil biomes nonetheless, judging by the fact that they drop the evil biomes ore. But that's all for today, folks. If you didn't watch the original video, it's right here on the screen. But if you just wanted a lore video, that's fine too. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And this has been Zele. Bye-bye.